justice, healing, education. Time to awaken the community. Good morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever time you will be watching this. You guys should know me by now, but if you don't, my name is Holly Sisa, and I am the lovely host of this wonderful More Than a Podcast, Morning Mimosas, where we value human life, justice, healing, and education for the Black and minority communities, although we love all people. So before I get this episode started, I just want to say thank you guys so much for over 10,000 subscribers or followers on our Facebook page. Super duper happy about that. Super duper excited for that. Let's continue growing all of our platforms so we are getting the message out of effective change. So just wanted to go ahead and put that little spiel on there. But before we get this episode started, we're actually going to watch two different commercials from two different partners. So the first one that we'll be taking a look at is Ganel's Craft and Harley Hendricks. So let's take a look at what they have going on over at Ganel's Crafts.
Hey, it's Harley Hendricks. I am the owner of Ganel's Crafts, where we make things handmade from our family to yours. And speaking of family, I want to thank Holly and Morning Mimosas for being an ongoing partnership here with us. So let's get it started. First of all, in 2025, we are doing wearables, which means that you could get some nice little clothing. I've made a couple of tops to start to market the fact that we are doing clothes this year. So yay. Please make sure that if you do order a custom wearable that you are prepared to get your measurements, as I cannot get your measurements, especially if you are far away. We are taking orders into June 13th, and if you mention Morning Mimosas at the end of your order, you get $10 off of the whole order. I definitely appreciate Holly for this ongoing partnership. Please make sure that you get your orders in. After I'm done running my mouth, I will have the instructions in writing, just in case me talking makes you forget what you're supposed to be doing. It's really easy to order. Hit us up, let us know what you want, and we let you know if we can do it. If we cannot do it, we will do our best to find a creator who can, because right now the girls are crocheting, and we are really, really grateful to be one of the girls who are crocheting. Period. I thank you again, Holly. I can't thank you enough for your partnership and your continued support. And I thank you, Morning Mimosa supporters, for hanging out and supporting my business. Even if all you do is share this commercial, I thank you. I hope you have a great day or night, depending on when you're watching this.
Guys, we absolutely love Ganel's Crafts. As you guys see, I faithfully wear my hat for most of the episodes. So, shout out to Ganel's Crafts. Make sure that you guys are getting your orders in by June 13th. So you guys have about 13 days left to get your orders in before they temporarily close. So make sure you guys are doing that. I know you guys love these hats. So our next one will be from another lovely partner of ours, which is Stars from Pluto's Events. And as you guys know, sometimes I assist Miss Misha. Shout out to her with her events and also, advertisement and everything else. So let's take a look at what we have going on at Stars from Pluto's Events.
Hey.
So that's another one of our lovely partners. If you are in the Colorado area and you guys need someone that does amazing events, please reach out to Stars from Pluto's Events and Misha. Okay. So, guys, today's episode. I know a lot of you guys are probably a little bit surprised by this, but yes, the episode is about the time I was locked up in Arapahoe County, Colorado Jail. In Centennial, Colorado. Yes. I did go to jail a couple weeks ago. The charges are said to be dropped here soon, so I won't talk too much about what I was arrested for. But the episode today, I will be talking about the living conditions and what I was going through during the night when I was in jail. So I was arrested on Monday, May 12th, 2025. So 19 days ago, I was arrested. And it's very sad because I had called the police because someone had started texting me, threatening my life and threatening to kill me and my kids. And I called the police to get help. And it ended up, I had an active warrant for, I guess, three different charges that I did not know that I had. So they took me in. I went to Arapahoe County that night of May 12th. And I spent the night there. And then I saw a judge the next day, and I got out on a PR bond because I'm a good person, so I don't really know why I had those charges in the first place. But let's talk more about the Arapahoe County Jail, guys. So this is the Arapahoe County Jail in Centennial, Colorado. This is where I was housed that night of May 12th till the afternoon of May 13th. And this is where I exited when I ended up leaving. So these are just pictures from Google. Credit to Google for these images. My night in jail was a very interesting one. I will not lie there. First and foremost, obviously, I was not too happy to be there. But when I ended up leaving, I ended up being a little bit more grateful for the experience that I ended up having. So what ended up happening is, so they, when you get to jail, they process you, they take off everything, including like my belly ring, all my piercings and stuff. So initially, I slept in a holding cell with two women, and then I was moved to another cell with those same two women. One of them ended up getting on my fucking nerves. I'm not gonna lie, I hated that bitch. And then I was cool with the younger one. The younger one, she was cool as shit. I fucked with her. And then it was like 5 something in the morning, and they ended up moving us to another cell that had more women. So it's so guys, so this episode is going to be a little bit different. As you guys know, I have my kids when I usually do these episodes. So I'm gonna actually step to the side for just a second because I have to calm my children down. So I know this is very different. I usually don't do this, but I need you guys to just bear with me momentarily while I get my children in order, and then we're gonna continue with the story time. Hang tight for a second. I'm back. So we ended up moving to a cell that had, I think, 8 other bitches in it. And they looked like this. It was a bigger room with multiple cots, but not like cots, but it was like multiple spaces to put beds. So it was, similar to this room right here. I ended up going into a room like this later on before I was released. It was very uncomfortable, but I ended up becoming like big little mama in there for the night that I was there. So I ended up having a lot of rapport with a lot of the women that were in there. And what makes me sad is that a lot of them are good women. They were good women, just like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, most of the women were there because of a man. Which is, really, really sad at the end of the day. Because, men go to jail for women and women go to jail for men, and we need to start coming together, and that really does need to change. I just need to put that note in there. But yeah, so I ended up having a rapport with most of the women in there and just learning a lot of their stories and how some of them, were serving time for very minuscule things, and then their sentences got extended for, stupid reasons because, judges, okay, you know what? I'm not going to sugarcoat shit. Let's tell the truth here. You guys know that for each person that gets housed at a jail, they get those buckety bucks. So obviously they try their best to make sure that they keep people in there So they're making that moolah baby. Just say. But yeah, there's a lady in there. I ended up braiding her hair, and but she was in there for, I don't know. It was just kind of stupid to me, like, she'd already served her time and she was supposed to get out the week after that, and she ended up not doing that. They ended up extending her sentence for whatever, you know, misjustice reason that they wanted to do that for. But, um, she wasn't like on drugs or nothing. She wasn't like a bad person. And, her and I bonded with, her and I both lost children. And I will go ahead and tell that part of her story. So, she had Irish twins, just like me. I have Irish twins, as most of you guys know. I have a 5-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. And her son killed himself. And I have to put air quotes with that because she suspects that her kid's father actually shot her son. But they deemed it a suicide, even though his dad was in the room with him telling him, hey, shoot yourself, you little pussy, and stuff like that. So I had to get that part of the story out because that part is just very disturbing to me. But as she's telling me the story, I'm crying because, it's already bad enough to be a mother, and we give birth, we go through all these changes, and then we give birth to these kids, and then we expect to see them to live a long time, and then, something happens to them, and then we end up outliving them. So we bonded in that aspect. And there was another one, beautiful Hispanic lady. She was in there because of her boyfriend, who was a drunk, and he got her arrested for like assault, um, and I guess getting him drunk. And I'm like, I didn't really too much understand that, but I also kind of did understand that because I guess according to him, she was an enabler. She was enabling him. So I don't, like I said, I don't know too much details on what was going on with that, but I sat there and I listened to her story, and I bonded with her, also because I try to encourage her, to not let that be the destroyer of like all the rest of your relationships, because obviously if you go to jail because of a partner, you end up, not saying like, hey, maybe I don't want to do a relationship anymore because someone sent me to jail when I was just trying to be a good partner to them, or whatever the situation is. Now, one thing I will say, as I was walking down these halls here that you guys are seeing, and as more people were being brought into our pod and being removed from our pod, the thing that I find very concerning is how the fuck people get drugs in there if we get pat down. I'm not look, I ain't no snitch or nothing, but when I was in there, I saw girls definitely, doing all of that. And it truly shocked me because we have to go through all these screenings, we have to get pat down and everything else, yet people are still able to bring drugs into these prisons and into these jails. So I'm just very concerned about the protocols of how they're doing things in these prisons and these jails, because like I said, it just totally shocked me that I literally watched two bitches, snort some shit, and I'm just like, whoa, how the fuck did you get that in here, bro? Like, if you, I mean, not trying to be inappropriate, but you guys know me, I'm 5'3", and I'm a semi, voluptuous woman, I'm a bigger breasted woman. And they patted me, you feel me, like, like they patted me down. Like, so just, seeing that maybe security is not as thorough as it should be. The correction officers and stuff definitely need to do better on trying to locate contraband, because yeah, like I said, it was like I saw bitches doing I saw bitches doing meth while I was in there for that night. And like I said, it truly shocked me to see that, because I didn't think that that was like a real thing. I thought I saw that like on television, but obviously, you know, life imitates art. So there's that fact. But yeah, so I got to watch females do drugs, and just watch different women be moved from our cell. The same woman that I spoke of earlier that had the Irish twins and the son that committed suicide. And like I said, I hate to put air quotes with that, because like I said, she suspects something else. She was having a medical issue while we were in the jail, and it just seemed like they did not have enough concern for a woman having a medical issue. Like, I get it, we was inmates, and y'all probably think lesser of us. I say us because I was one of them. But that doesn't mean that we get denied health care. That's another point of contention that I'm currently having with this criminal justice system is the ones who didn't commit violent offenses, right? Still give a fuck about them. You know what I'm saying? Like, still give them help. You know what I'm saying? It's really disgusting that I had to watch a fellow woman of mine like struggling because she was in so much motherfucking pain, and nobody was doing anything to assist her. It was disgusting. And then just listening to the other stories of the other women and why they were there, and it truly breaks my heart that the justice system that we have. And that's why I'm thankful that I'm in school, getting my bachelor's degree in criminal justice, so I can fix the system. That's why I'm kind of thankful that I went to jail that night, guys. It's like I said, I wasn't too happy that I got arrested after I was being threatened. Just point that out. I was the one being threatened. Me and my kids were being threatened that day. But I'm glad I did, because now I had this time to come and talk to you guys about what the jail system is like, even for just one night. I'm telling you guys, to my Black minority communities, guys, this is not what you guys want. Being in jail is not cute. And the fact that prison life influences street life, and street life influences society sometimes, guys, we gotta break that. That chain has to be broken. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm here, is to make sure that I'm breaking change. I'm breaking these generational curses, because the fact that all those are connected, society to street to prison, we can't have those things connecting anymore. It is not benefiting us, guys. Those prisons are disgusting. I don't understand why people like to be repeat offenders and like to go back to these prisons over and over and over again. I'm sorry, I didn't like being there, although I did appreciate the experience behind it, though. So I'm not going to sit here and be ungrateful. I definitely appreciate the experience, because it made me stronger, and it made me want to go harder to change the criminal justice system. Because like I said, it's heavily flawed. But am I surprised by that? It's run by humans, and humans are heavily flawed. So yeah, it was an experience, y'all. It was an experience, and I did end up getting some of the information for some of the girls, and I will be reaching out to them as my schedule becomes more free. But I know some of them have started watching the pod because I sent them the information. So shout out to the ladies that I was in Arapahoe County Jail with a couple weeks ago. I hope you ladies are doing amazing. I will be definitely reaching out, because I definitely want some of you guys to come on here and tell your stories as well, so the public knows what's truly going on in the criminal justice system, because like I said, it's definitely heavily flawed. And those jails need to be cleaned up. Like, correction officers get paid all this money, and these people make all this money, but these jails are disgusting. And that actually brings me to my next point. So I've looked at prisons in like Europe. We're going to talk about Europe, in comparison to the United States, and their jails look nothing like ours here. I don't, like I said, I've never been to jail like that, so I don't know too much about anything, but the ones I've seen pictures of when I do like research and watch videos, um, they look disgusting. But when you see these European jails, they're all nice and clean and everything else. But that also doesn't surprise me because they give these people lenient ass sentences over there. Trust me, my next step is to also clean up the European criminal justice system, because they're way too lenient on their sentences there. That's a conversation for a whole other episode. But it's don't go to jail, guys. It's not conducive to your life. Don't commit crime. Like I said, I don't really understand why certain men and or women let's go back there over and over again. I guess in my opinion, some men go back there because they have they boyfriend Bubba. Women, why you go back there? I have no fucking idea. I don't know if you got a bitch in there that you just love so much that you just keep committing crime to go back. But cut that shit out. Let's do better as people. Jail is not a place for us. It may have been conditioned for us black folks for whatever racist reason, but that's not where we belong. Yeah, we are kings and queens. We need to start carrying ourselves as such. Okay, jails are not for us. Prisons are not for us. We belong in society, making change and doing greatness, not being hoodlums and doing fun stuff with the homies that get you in jail. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode today. I'm going to get out of here because it's the last day of the month. And I hope you guys have a great beginning to your June. I will see you guys soon. Okay? Guys, this is Morning Mimosas, where we value human life, justice, healing, and education for the Black and minority communities. Until next time, we'll see you later.